Good morning. Welcome to Pajama Day. I'm Colette Linden.
I'm Dani Dupuis. Welcome to the special report.
I loved having a shower this morning and then putting pajamas on.
I've actually never been so warm in the studio.
Yeah.
I'm always cold.
Although I will say, when I walked in, these two are dressed in regular clothes, and I just wore my pajamas here. I didn't think there was anything wrong with that, but I don't know. But what about the weather? Because it wasn't too bad walking to the car today.
I mean, despite a little bit of frost that always throws me off in the morning, today it's currently -4 and it feels like -7. It is going to warm up.
Look at that beautiful shot of our city.
Beautiful. So as you can see, it's a little like it looks fresh. It looks nice outside. I really enjoyed it.
It looks pretty empty.
Yeah, that too.
Like.
But leading into the afternoon today, yes, always beautiful. That's the one thing I love about the Sioux, is how beautiful it is. But leading up into the afternoon, it is going to get a little bit sunny, and then coming up over the weekend, you're going to be seeing some showers, and it's going to feel roughly around 9. It's going to be sunny, but showers.
That's okay.
That's expected. And then on Sunday, it's going to feel a little bit cloudy, probably -1. Might get a little bit heated up in the afternoon, but I mean, again, weather changes so much, so who am I to tell you? Like, honestly, but for right now, that's what I can tell you.
Well, I don't think the weather's going to ruin the backyard parties. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't think so. Remember, no fires.
Speaking of parties, let's go over to Chris.
Thank you very much, Pajama Ladies.
Yes,
we now have an 11th case here in the Algoma district, so I'll have more information on that, what little information we did get. And also be talking about something that I talked about yesterday during our afternoon show as well. Back to the desk.
Thank you,
Thanks, Chris.
That sucked, eh? She's taking a huge sip of coffee and it came right back.
Burns going down.
So yesterday's word of the day was spicy. I haven't thought of one yet today.
Neither have I.
I think we should come back at 1 o'clock with that. If you have any suggestions, email it to us at specialreportssm@gmail.com. We'd love to hear what you think what the word of the day is. Oh, Facebook Live.
And Facebook Live comments.
Yeah, come on. Throw them at us. So what happened in local news last night? Because I woke up at around 2 a.m. and, you know, like any other Superior Media employee, I checked online.com. And I did
every single time.
So there's a few things. Fort Creek is closed. There's a couple things.
Yeah, we have Fort Creek. It's closed, and the reason for them closing right now is there's not a lot of people to service the area. So there's been a lot of waste. There's garbage, a lot of pet waste. So it's not a really pretty area to go to right now. And also, as Chris mentioned, unfortunately, there is that 11th case, which we'll go more in depth with this afternoon. And also, if anyone out there who is interested about what's going on in the cannabis industry, well, their sales have just ramped up online.
I saw that.
In the span of a week, they've had more than 13,000 orders. Like, crazy.
That was a great purchase by the government.
And I'm kidding. But what's interesting too is they were saying that there's a lot of new users. So I guess with all the different products they have out there right now, that there's kind of something for everyone.
Maybe now they have the time to okay, we're chilled, we're at home, we can try it out.
Well, but that's
maybe they're just trying to stay calm too. I mean, their kids are probably driving them nuts. I'm so glad I get to come to work. But I love you, Connor and Dante.
This is a true mom.
Mom of the Year over there, a nomination.
Oh, my mom and I actually, you know how we mentioned the Disney? Yes, we totally watched it yesterday. It was actually really cool how they did it. So they kind of did it like a teleconference, like FaceTime kind of chat. Yeah. But even during it, they got into costumes and characters. They opened up with Be Our Guest from Beauty and the Beast.
Be our guest, put our service to the test. Who was on there? What singers?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't stay up to see all of it because I feel
this is fake news. This is Donald Trump's definition of
we got one song in, guys.
Right
one
here.
Song.
You've
My mom
seen it live.
so I'll have to ask her. Can you tell we're happy that it's Friday today?
Oh God, just a little bit. So I was on the way in this morning. Oh God, so I was kind of coming. I was traveling a little bit quicker than the posted speed coming up. I still don't know my roads, but Black Road, and then you turn left, and it's whatever.
I guess the second line.
Second line, that's right. Jeez, I should know that. So, you know, I just kind of look at the corner of my eye, and I'm like, wow, that's a nice little cruiser just sitting there. Ease up from. I won't say what speed I was going because I feel like that's
everywhere now too, and like the randomest spots. Like
and I was like, okay, what's my speed? What's my speech? Okay, please let me go. I'm going to work. I'm an essential service worker.
I'm essential. I need to be there.
I know. Anyways, point is the story. Sorry, I get so.
I'm not sure he would have taken you seriously with you in your pajamas.
I don't know.
You could be like,
Just
sir,
saying.
are you a Toronto Maple Leaf fan?
Yeah, imagine he's probably an Ottawa fan, but it does
Habs fan.
Yeah. Oh God. Anyways, we got into quarantunes, but we'll talk about that later because right now we have to intro a video for our hashtag in this together. In this together, SSM. Why don't you do the honors today? You interviewed Joyce.
Joyce McComansky. See, I'm gonna butcher. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Joyce, if you're watching this. We tried so hard. No, we did. We did about 4 takes of me saying the last name. So we tried. But
we love you,
Joyce was great. She's from Primerica, and we were talking about how to teach your kids finances,
Awesome,
proper budgeting.
awesome idea.
So we'll go over to that video right now.
Great.
Hi, I'm here with Joyce McComansky from Primerica Canada, one of the representatives here, and also Regional Vice President. Thanks for joining us today, Joyce.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Dani. Good morning.
Good morning, and we see you have some beautiful sunlight today.
Yeah, it's gorgeous out.
But what we're going to do right now is we're going to dive on into those questions. I know we spoke briefly on the phone today and how people are adjusting to the new changes and whether or not, buy or sell, how to budget. But what I want to talk to you about today is you've put onto your Facebook page the how-to guide for teaching kids all the how-tos about money. Do you want to dive into that with us today?
I would love to, absolutely. So we've got a copy of a book that isn't ours. The information isn't ours. It's information that's out there. But we did bring it together in a very easy to read, easy to deliver the information format in a book called How Money Works for Kids. And it's a parent's guide to teaching your kids about the basics. And I'm finding right now, a lot of my clients, especially if we're doing a little Zoom chat about, what they want to do with their money and how they're making it through this really tough time, I've got kids popping up in the background. I know mine does. She'll pop up in the background and be like, who are you talking to? And it's precipitated a ton of conversation about budgeting and how we can open up that bit of a chat. I know as a mom of a 14 turning 15-year-old, there's been a lot of conversations about what we can afford right now, what we can't afford, the difference in the cost of groceries and those sorts of things. So I, just as a parent, have found it's a great opportunity to talk about budget, to talk about an emergency fund, to talk about some of the preparedness that I work with my clients on. So making sure, this is a giant oops in most people's income flow and most people's budget. So coming into this without an emergency fund and without a really good handle on your budget, it makes it tough. Mm-hmm. So right now, we've got captive audiences, right? Our kids are home. It's been a transition, right, into what they're doing from a school perspective. And there's been a lot of talk about taking the opportunity to teach them some life skills while they're home.
Yeah, no
So
kidding.
I do, just to be able, cleaning, cooking, right? But budgeting is always a conversation in my house, but she hasn't read this book before. So it's something that's been on her to-do list as well. So I do have it now. Unfortunately, I can't post it on the site, but there's a link there. If anybody, you don't have to be our client. We are just happy to support everybody through this and give you some information and give you some tools. So if you message us on my Joyce McComansky Primerica Representative Facebook page, we will happily get you a copy of that right to your inbox. We do have an adult version. So some older kids like both. They like to read the first book and then move to the second book. But adults too, if you want to know how to maybe be better prepared should something like this happen, we've got a copy of that for you too. Happily share it.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing, Joyce. Well, thank you very much for answering that question for us today, because I know a lot of parents right now are probably figuring, how do we even start the conversation of teaching your children about budgeting? This is what a great initiative that you're doing. And I know when we spoke on the phone too, that you're open to questions and you're allowing people to be eager about the conversation. And people can just reach out to you over Facebook?
Absolutely. I find a lot of people are having some aha moments when it comes to their money. Mm-hmm. Some of my younger clients thinking maybe this is a good time to prepare to buy a house because of what the market's looking like. some of my long-term clients who are close to retirement, a lot of questions about what the volatility is going to mean for them. Some clients being in a position because their work hasn't been, affected at all, being in a position to take advantage of the down market. So any questions, I absolutely love providing that education piece, and that always comes with no strings. This time, or anytime on our Facebook page, message us anytime and we'll get back to you.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much today, Joyce, for taking the time to answer these questions. And you know what? I'll probably be one of those people messaging you shortly. So we just want to say thank you again and hope that you have a great day.
Thanks. You too. Take care.
Bye.
You were looking all sorts of pretty with in that video with Joy.
It was great. She gave me some good tips about financing, so I was kind of like, okay, perfect.
Hey, so we want to say hello to Shelly, who's listening from Hearst, Ontario. Hey, Shelly. Do you like my PJs, Shelly?
Yes. Are you still in your pajamas?
Oh, I bet so.
I would be.
Yes. We're going to come back later and talk about the quarantine kitchen.
Yes,
but until we do that quarantine kitchen, we're going to throw ourselves into a commercial. Sorry, Mike is talking in my ear, and I'm still trying to get used to someone talking in my ear. But we're going to throw to a commercial and come back with Chris.
Melly, did you know that the Bush Plain Heritage Center is celebrating 30 years this year?
Wow, great for them. Did you know that if you're at the Bush Plain Museum, that you're only 12 minutes and 7 seconds away from Maitland Ford Lincoln?
Really? Maitland Ford, it's closer than you think.
What's life without making a few mistakes down the road? A few sharp turns. And doing things for what we adore, but might regret later. A trip to Chuck's Roadhouse isn't one of them. With melt-in-your-mouth AAA steaks, buttery lobster tail, half-priced apps after 9 p.m., an ice-cold draft with all your Roadhouse favorites. Chuck's Roadhouse. Food the way it ought to be, priced the way it used to.
Welcome back.
Sorry about that throw there earlier. Quarantine kitchen.
Yes. Susie and Marie is phenomenal with their Facebook groups and have introduced another one. It's called Quarantine Kitchen, where local either chefs, inspiring bakers have been going to post all their recipes. So it's a great way for people to kind of, interact what they like, what they don't like. But for more on what's going on in the community in relation to COVID-19, over to Chris.
Thank you very much, pajama ladies. Okay, so yesterday at 4:30, Algoma Public Health came out with more numbers about our COVID-19 pandemic. We've now tested 1,092 people, and we have an 11th positive case. And I just want to throw to a video from 1 p.m. yesterday afternoon that I did in Special Report, and I want you to notice about the number 11. Roll tape. We finally have the numbers today for Algoma Public Health for what's going on here in Algoma. We know we have now tested over 1,000 people. We're up to 1,052 tests. We're still at only 10 positive cases. Only 10 positive cases so far. They haven't let us know if there's an 11th. And the reason I was saying that at 1 o'clock is we already knew there was an 11th case. At 1 p.m., we knew in the morning before 11 o'clock that there was another case here in Algoma District. It took the Algoma Public Health until after 4:30 to let the public know. And what do we know about this case? Not much. Females in her 60s, exposure category is completely unknown. She's self-isolating, which is a good thing. She never did any international travel, so this is some sort of community transmission. But they didn't really let us know. Tonight, I'm going to be talking to the Adelaide Lake Mayor at 7 p.m., so check out my show at 7 p.m. this evening. Back to the desk.
And check out Chris's show that was on last night at 7 p.m. It was a good one.
Check that one out.
Yes.
Where I talked about Algoma Public Health for a full half hour.
Yes.
And one of the things I talked about is their delay in giving the public information. back to the desk.
Thanks, Chris. Just want to mention today at 1 o'clock when we come back live and still in our jammies with the code word or the secret word of the day, we're not too sure. Ford is going to be coming back with the Minister of Education, so maybe another announcement. And I have a rant maybe about homeschooling. We will be back at 1 o'clock, and we'll see you then. Have a great day.